What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another video. For those of you new to our channel, my name is Ralli Roots. Myself, along with my wife Allison, have been full-time online resellers for over 6 years now, and we've sold millions of dollars worth of products online. Which all that sounds great, but for most people watching this channel, reselling online full-time is not the goal. The goal is just to make extra income. So in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down how you can make $100 a day flipping stuff online. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm going to do my best to put as much time and value into the video today. So if you don't mind, if you like the video, please hit the thumbs up button. That's how you can show some support for us. So the first question that I want to address in this video, for most people starting to sell online, the main question is, how much money should I invest initially? So there's a couple different answers to this question, but I feel like you should have a decent little investment fund built up before you start flipping stuff online. So in my opinion, you should have at least $1,000 at your disposal to get started. A few ways that you can get that initial investment: you can start by looking around your house and start with flipping stuff that you don't need anymore from your own house. Weather permitting, you could host your own garage sale and sell some stuff that way. You could do some odd jobs like help a friend move for some extra cash, or mow some lawns, clean some pools. You could gather up a bunch of stuff and go vend at a flea market. You could take on a babysitting job. There's a lot of different ways to get that first initial investment. Do not start flipping stuff online by buying inventory on a credit card with money that you don't have. Don't take out a loan. Don't take money from a friend and promise to pay them back. That's the wrong way to start. I'm not saying that you can't leverage credit in the future once you know what you're doing, but when you first initially start, don't take on any debt. So once you have your initial investment fund, that $1,000 that I recommend, now where do you go to find stuff to flip online? A few places that I can suggest: thrift stores, garage sales, yard sales, estate sales. Facebook Marketplace has become a great resource to find new inventory to flip online. Auctions, Craigslist, retail arbitrage, that's going into a store like TJ Maxx or Marshalls and finding stuff priced low to flip online. And online arbitrage, so going to places like eBay and finding items that are priced low that you can then buy and then flip online for a profit. So there's a lot of different places to source, and I'm going to go through each one of these individually, and I actually want to go out and show you guys like where to look and how to find stuff as well. So this is going to be a lengthy video. It's probably going to take me a couple weeks to make it. I also want to talk about not just how to source the items, but how to sell them as well. I want to break down the entire thing for you all. And again, the whole goal behind this video is to show you how to make an extra $100 a day. So we're going to wrap it all around and bring it back to that point. But let's start with thrift stores. So I've pulled up to a Salvation Army family store. Just a couple quick tips about thrift stores. The first thing is, if you're new to sourcing at thrift stores, I honestly think you should stick to like the main brands. So Salvation Army, Goodwill, Savers, not the mom and pop shops, only because there's a lot of these type of stores out there and they typically carry the same kind of inventory. So you can get an idea of what's out there, and you can kind of like buy the same brands, the same kind of stuff over and over again when you're going to the chain thrift stores. So anyway, I'm gonna run into this Salvation Army for 30 minutes and see if I can find anything to buy to flip online. The first place I go when I walk into a thrift store is the shoe section. I know shoes well, I know what brands to look out for, and I know I can make money flipping shoes. I look out for known expensive brands like Chaco, for example. This pair of Chacos would have been a great flip for $8, but unfortunately they had a little bit of toe damage that I didn't want to take the time to repair. For $10, a brand that we've sold many times is Dansko. They're comfort shoes, they sell well, they have a good resale value. And like I said, we've sold this brand 100 times over. I ended up finding 2 pairs of Danskos at the Salvation Army. This pair was only $6. Another good section to look through is the bag section. You can find good quality bags that flip for a lot of money. A good brand is the North Face, like this bag I found, and it would have been a good flip if it was in better condition and maybe a little bit cheaper. They wanted $13 for it, which that's just a bit too steep for me to flip. After shipping, after fees, there's not enough profit. The 2 best places to look for quick flips at a thrift store are the electronics section, because sometimes you can find good electronics in good condition that flip for high value. Unfortunately, this thrift store didn't have anything worthwhile this time. And then the other section is if you can find good quality video games. Video games sell almost instantly. So if you can find good games for a decent price, that's a good place to put your money. So as you saw, I picked up 2 pairs of Dansko shoes at that thrift store for a total of $16. So an average of $8 a pair. And the next thing I want to share with you is where to list these items and how to get them sold. So let's take these back to the warehouse and I'll show you what we do with them. I lied. There's a Goodwill retail store on the way back to my house, so I'm just gonna swing in here quick and same thing, see if I can find anything cool. This pair of New Balance shoes is $20, but I feel like we should be able to flip them for $70 to $90. And this pair of Adidas shoes is in great condition. It's a smaller size, but they're in great condition, missing insoles, but I still think that it could be a really good flip. There was no price on them, but I asked an employee and they said $9.96. That's fine. Which for $10, I think it's a great potential flip. So there we go, another $30 spent on 2 more pairs of shoes. So now we have 4 pairs of shoes, and I spent $30 here, and what was it, 16 or 18? 16 on the other pairs of Dansko. So 4 pairs total, and what is that, $46 spent today at 2 thrift stores. So for us, the next step is to get pictures of the shoes and get them listed on eBay. We have a little photography booth set up with a nice white background and some photography lights, but you don't have to even get that fancy. When you're just starting out, you can go to like the Dollar Tree and just get a couple of those white poster boards and use that as a background, or you can just go outside and use natural lights and take pictures that way. One thing with eBay is if you take good pictures, they have this little tool that'll help remove the background for you. It's called a background removal tool. So if you take good pictures on a somewhat white background, usually that tool can help eliminate the background. So after we get all the pictures of the shoes taken, another important thing is you want at least 4 pictures when listing stuff on eBay. So make sure you get 4 pictures minimum. We like to get more than that, typically between like 8 to 12 pictures with something like shoes. Make sure to get any flaws, make sure to get a picture of the size tag and all that good stuff. People buy with their eyes first, so make sure you're presenting the item in a good light. Also keep in mind that you don't have to go with eBay. I'm only showing eBay because it's one of the easiest ways to start. It's the way that we started. But if you want to start by listing stuff on Facebook Marketplace or Poshmark or Mercari or any other website that's an easy way to get started, you can do it that way instead. But for the sake of this video, because we know that it works well for us, I'm going to show you eBay. So just a couple things when it comes to how we list on eBay. For example, here's that pair of Dansko shoes that we found at the thrift store. We have it listed for $59.97. We like to list under that whole amount because when people sort items by cheapest first on eBay, ours would pop up before something listed at, say, $60. Ours would pop up first. Again, make sure you have a good, clear main picture. When it comes to wording your title, make sure it's clear, concise. Make sure that you put in the model name if you have it. Put in as many item-specific keywords as you can. You want to make a clear, concise, easy-to-read title. We like to put best offer on our listings, and we do typically offer free shipping. And for us, the way that we offer free shipping is if we were going to list the item for $50 plus $10 shipping, we're just going to list it for $59.97 with free shipping. So we're just taking the price of the item and the shipping costs and combining it together. It's the same thing, but for the buyer, the perceived value of free shipping does make a difference in our opinion. The other important thing on eBay to note is to put in as many item specifics as you can. You want to make sure the size is in there, the model's in there, everything that you know about the item, make sure to put in item specifics. As far as the description goes, we keep it nice and short and simple and straight to the point. And that's how we list stuff on eBay. That's pretty much the way that's worked for us for the past 4 to 5 years. Okay, so you've seen me go to a thrift store and buy a couple items. So the next thing I want to talk about is another way to source, which is garage sales, estate sales, and just local, actual physical sales to go to. When it comes to estate sales and garage sales, there's a few things to keep in mind. Number one, they can be highly competitive, so try to get there as early as you can. Bring smaller bills, but also bring enough money so that you don't have to leave and go to an ATM and come back and say, can you hold this item for me? That being said, a lot of people are also accepting Venmo these days with everything going on. So sometimes you don't have to carry a large amount of cash. You can just ask them if they'll accept Venmo, but it doesn't hurt to at least have enough money with you so that you don't have to leave. And then tip number 3 is map out your route the day before so that you don't have to drive around looking for signs and not knowing where to go. Craigslist is still a really good way to find these garage sales. There's a garage sales section on Craigslist and you can sort it by map so you can kind of see where they are. Another tip is to get on estate sale companies' email list, because when they have estate sales or when there's a new estate sale coming up, they will email their list first to show you where the sale is going to be, and sometimes they'll send pictures and stuff too. So get on those estate sale company email lists. Garage sales and estate sales are still our favorite way to source. It's how we started out. It's the roots of how we started reselling, pun intended, but we love them so much because of the variety you can find out there, and the profit margins you can find are usually much better than something like a thrift store or buying wholesale. So the thrill of the find of what you can find and the money you can make, profit margin, is just, it's hard to beat with garage sales and estate sales. So before we move on, I want to give you a prime example of an estate sale flip that we just had recently. This item actually just sold over the weekend for us. We bought a Coleman stove at an estate sale for $65, which is a lot lot of money to spend, but we knew that it would be a fast turnaround, a fast flip. Took pictures and listed it on eBay for $145 or best offer. And we took a best offer on that item of $125. The buyer paid and we shipped it out today. Today's Monday. That stove cost us $12 to ship out. So after eBay fees, after the cost that we paid for the item, and after our shipping cost, we made a profit of $32 on that stove. Another good example is Allison found two really cool Star Wars ornaments at a garage sale. We paid $5 a piece.
How much do you want for the ornaments? $5? Each.
It says SDCC, and if you know anything about Pops, you know that that is typically a very rare San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, so those items are really desirable.
And both of those ornaments sold over the weekend as well to separate buyers, but both of them sold. One of them sold for $38, and then the other one sold for $69. So between those two ornaments, they sold for $107. It cost us about $7 each to ship each one of them out, so $14 in shipping costs. But even after all the eBay fees and the shipping costs and the cost of goods will be paid for the item, we still made a very healthy profit of about $70. So again, that's why we still love garage sales, because you can go out and spend $10 and turn that into $70 profit. It's also just a fun thing to do. Allie and I love to go out and do it as a couple. It's a fun thing to do on a Saturday morning. And that's the other thing, even for people who have a full-time job during the work week, on the weekends, there's garage sales, there's estate sales. It's a cool way to, mix things up a bit and start your side hustle that way. Go into garage sales. Again, that's how we started. We took $200 out on a Saturday to garage sales. And that's how we first initially caught the bug for reselling stuff online. And here we are today. We built it from a $200 investment to where we are today. So sometimes if you start small, you can figure out what works well for you and just go from there. So the next few sourcing methods that I'm going to go through fairly quickly, because I still feel like the best ways to source for beginners are thrift stores and garage sales. But I do want to still touch on a few more really good sourcing opportunities for those of you watching this video who are a bit more advanced. Facebook Marketplace is very quickly becoming a great place to source on and a great place to resell on as well. When we're sourcing on Facebook Marketplace, we try to stick to fast selling categories that we know we can buy and then turn over very quickly. For us, that's categories like new in the box items, video game systems flipped really well for us. We've bought video game bundles and then broken them up and made a lot of profit parting them out and selling each piece individually. We've bought brand new in the box printers and toner, like printer ink and toner. We've even bought like new in the box blenders, and we even bought a flat screen TV one time that was brand new in the box. The thing about Facebook Marketplace is a lot of people like to sell gifts that they get. So, if they get wedding gifts that they don't really want, sometimes people will list those on Facebook Marketplace, birthday gifts, Christmas gifts. So sometimes you can find really good deals on new in the box items that flip well online. The only small piece of advice that I will give, and this is really for any local deal that you're doing, buying or selling, is meet in a safe location. Make sure that if anything seems off or fishy, just don't do the deal. If it's too good to be true, it probably is, not a genuine deal. So just make sure that you're being safe out there and be smart about it. Don't go into something that is going to end up biting you in the butt later on. But Facebook Marketplace is a wonderful place to source from and sell on. Next thing is auctions. So in-person auctions are a bit tougher right now with the pandemic and everything still going on, but they have been a very good sourcing resource for us in the past. There's a really good website called auctionzip.com. No affiliation, they don't pay us at all, but it's a very good website where you can just type in your zip code and it'll show you the local physical auctions in your general area. One suggestion that I do have for most people out there is to stay away from storage unit auctions. I know that they can seem sexy and like there's a lot of videos about storage unit auctions. There's shows about storage unit auctions, but for most people, they're not right. It's more of a gamble. You're putting your money out there. You don't really know what you're buying. Most of the time you're buying mattresses and larger pieces of furniture. So if you don't have a way to move those, storage units are typically not the right thing for people to get started in auctions. We prefer auctions where you actually physically see what you're buying and you can do your research and you know exactly what you're getting. 3 more quick tips about auctions. Number 1, if you're going to be going to a lot of them, get your reseller sales tax exemption certificate in your state, because once you have that, you can submit it to the auction house and then you don't have to pay sales tax up front. Bring cash with you. Most auction houses that we've been to offer a cash discount. So if you use a credit card, they'll charge you a fee, but if you bring cash, typically they'll give you some sort of a discount for doing that. And then tip number 3 is most auction houses do a preview beforehand. Some of them do it like a couple hours before they actually hold the auction, but some of them do it a day or 2 days before. So find out when the preview is for the auction and go there, do your research, pick out what you want to buy beforehand so that when the auction actually starts, you know how much you're willing to pay, you have a budget you can stick to, and you've already done the research on the items. That's a really big tip. A lot of people just go to the auctions when they start and then they get caught up in the bid and they'll bid too much money. So go to the preview, go beforehand, do your research, set your budget, and that'll help you a lot when you actually start to bid. And then the last 2 sourcing methods that I'll talk about in today's video are online arbitrage and retail arbitrage. So as far as retail arbitrage goes, it's not a huge method that we use for sourcing items, so I can't go really deep. We're definitely not experts on retail or online arbitrage, but there are some tips that I can give you. Again, we like to stick to fast selling in-demand categories. For us, shoes, video games, those are the ones that turn over really fast and well for us. So for example, you can go into, say, a Walmart or a Target and go to the video game section and look for clearance video games that sometimes you can buy for $5 to $10, and then you can flip them on places like eBay and Amazon for $30, $40. I know quite a few people that's all they do. They bounce from Walmart to Walmart, Target to Target, really all over the country, and they look for those clearance video games and they move them very quickly. And again, going back to it, one of the reasons why video games work so well is because there's such a high demand. Those things flip so fast. And then for shoes, we like Nike outlet centers. We like Burlington Coat Factory sometimes has really good clearance shoes. We like TJ Maxx and Marshalls. Again, it's not a huge thing that we do, but there have been times that we've walked into those stores and found great quality, underpriced, branded shoes for a decent enough price that we're able to take them and then flip them online for a profit. Now with stores like that, just make sure you're still checking over the shoes for any flaws or defects. Sometimes those stores will sell shoes that are defective or have, just little defects on them, but you just want to make sure that you're aware of those. And then also watch your budget. You don't want to buy a pair of shoes for $60 that you can only flip for $80, because even though it seems like a profit, after fees, after shipping, after all the costs that are involved in selling the pair of shoes, you're not going to make any money. So just watch your budget there. Be aware of the costs associated with reselling the sneakers on. And then online arbitrage is the same thing, but online. It's the same as retail arbitrage, but you're going to the actual websites online. So go into like adidas.com and looking for those clearance shoes, or using a coupon code, or finding shoes again online that are underpriced that you can then buy and then flip onto other online platforms like eBay or Amazon if you're ungated in certain categories. There's also online limited release drops like certain Nike shoes, certain Yeezy shoes, certain Supreme items that are hyped up a lot, that are limited release runs. They only make a certain amount of them. You can buy them for a retail price and then flip them online for a profit, even on places like StockX, which is probably the best place to flip stuff like that for a quick flip, quick turnaround, make a decent profit, and put it into something else. That being said, those drops are very difficult to get, so don't be discouraged if you're not able to buy them. But like I said, I don't want to go too deep into more advanced reseller sourcing techniques. This is more of a beginner video. We do have other videos that dive deeper into, certain other things. And then we also have training on our website. If you ever want to check that out, just go to ralliroots.com and you can jump into our training programs on there if you would like to. Okay, so now that I've gone through quite a few different sourcing techniques, ways to source good inventory to resell online, the last thing that I want to do is break down what really matters, what it really comes down to, which is the numbers. It's so important to keep track of your sales, keep track of how much money you're actually making online, and to know that there's costs involved in doing what we do. I showed you earlier in this video the profit breakdown of some of our own garage sale flips, but I wanted to go back to what we were talking about before, which is how to actually make $100 profit a day flipping stuff online. So let's say, using some of the sourcing techniques that I talked about in this video, let's say that you're able to find items that you're able to sell for a profit of $20 per item. If you can find items like that, it's very simple. In order to make $100 profit a day, you would need to sell 5 items. $20 times 5, $100. But you also need to remember that it takes time for these items to sell. You have to get them listed, and then it takes time to find the right buyer and to actually sell the items. If you're buying smart, looking at the demand, and you're listing the right way, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to buy items that sell within 60 days. But let's stay conservative, and let's say that on eBay, you have a 5% sell-through rate per day. What I mean by that is, out of all the items that you have listed on eBay, 5% of those items are selling each day. So that would mean that you would need to have 100 items listed on eBay at all times, hit that 5% sell-through rate. There's your 5 items per day at a $20 profit per item. There's your $100 a day in profit. So going back to why I suggest that you should start with a $1,000 budget or around a $1,000 budget. Again, it's because it takes money to go and source those items out. If you have 100 items listed, or if you want to go and buy 100 items at a $10 buy cost, $10 times 100 items to get your first 100 listed on eBay, that's $1,000. So there's your $1,000 budget right there. And then again, the other thing to keep in mind are fees and shipping. It doesn't cost nothing to sell stuff on eBay. There's fees associated, and you have to pay to ship the items out as well. So if you buy something for $10 and then you sell it for $50, there's still other fees associated with that. You didn't make $40. In fact, after fees, let's call it $6.50, and then shipping, let's call it an average of $8. And then the cost of the item of $10, you're really only making a profit of $25.50. So you have to keep that in your mind at all times. You have to always be thinking there's fees associated with what I'm doing. And then the last thing to consider, which not a lot of resellers talk about, is there's other costs associated with reselling online, and there's also taxes. So there's small costs here and there like poly bags and printer ink and shipping labels and even electricity to run everything. All those little costs do add up, and it's a good idea to keep track of that as well. And then taxes are subjective based on your own personal income, but any profit that you make selling online, you obviously have to pay tax on as well. Even if you only make, say, an extra $1,000 profit this year, you still are required to pay whatever income tax level you're at. You're required to pay tax on that profit that you've made. And we always say the best thing to do when it comes to taxes is talk to a professional. We can tell you everything that you need to know about reselling stuff online, but we are not tax experts, and you shouldn't be taking tax advice from a reseller on YouTube. Go and talk to a CPA. Most CPAs out there will give you some sort of a free consultation. You can go talk to them and ask them what your tax liabilities are. But please, when it comes to something as serious as taxes, talk to a professional, not a reseller. Okay, so I know that was a lot of information in this video thrown at you, but I wanted it to be very thorough, so I hope you appreciate that. And before I end today's video, I want to leave you with some really, what I consider to be really helpful and really important tips for selling on eBay. And again, if you have enjoyed the video so far and you appreciate me taking the time to make it, please hit the thumbs up button. That's all I ask. So just a few extra eBay tips for you. Tip number 1, make sure to take really good pictures. You can use a cell phone. You don't have to use an actual, like DSLR camera. You can use, most cell phones take good pictures. Take at least 4 pictures when listing stuff on eBay. Use the eBay item specifics. Those are like your keywords. That's how you tell eBay's search algorithm that this is your item and this is what your item's about. So make sure you put in those item specifics, the brand and the color and the shoe size or whatever it is that you're selling. Make sure you fill out as many item specifics as you can. Use best offer. A lot of people don't like to use best offer, but I think it's a great tool, and it does help increase our sales. We've run a lot of tests with and without best offer, and for us, after selling thousands and thousands of items online, we think best offer is a good thing. And then for us, 99% of how we list our items on eBay are buy it now. We don't run a lot of auctions. You can run auctions, but for us, we feel like it's better to do that buy it now or best offer instead of running auctions. And sometimes you may start an auction at 99 cents and it sells for 99 cents and you lose money. So especially when you're first starting out on eBay, it's better to price your items for what you're willing to accept and, give a little bit of buffer room there to accept the best offer. That's how we suggest you do things. Tip number 5 when you're first starting out is don't fall for scams. If someone sends you their phone number, asks to do the deal outside of eBay, or offers you more money than what you have the item listed for, more than likely that's a scam. And unfortunately, scammers do target new eBay sellers. So just be aware of that and, decline the offer and move on and try to find a legitimate buyer. When it comes to shipping, that's really important. Make sure to package your items in a good way. Use bubble wrap, package them nicely so that when they get to the customer is going to be fully satisfied. Your feedback score is everything, especially when you first start selling on eBay. So Be respectful to your buyers. We like to include a little thank you note in the package that just says, thank you for your order. Please, if you wouldn't mind going and leaving a positive review, we'd really appreciate that. We're a small business. We're just a couple people. We're not a big, Amazon business. So just a little extra thank you note asking them for a good review. That can go a long way to include that in your packages. Another tip is to list daily. If you have items to list them daily. If you have 100 items to list, try to spread it out throughout the week instead of listing everything on one day. eBay likes consistent activity. They like to see a store or an account that is listing every single day. So try to list daily. That'll help you sell more stuff. And then if you are doing best offer, make sure to send out offers daily as well. You don't always have to wait for the offers to come in. If you have the ability to send out best offers on your items, send those out. We'd like to do it in the morning and then at night as well. So we actually send out offers twice a day. But we've definitely found that doing that helps increase sales big time on eBay. And then lastly, have fun. Don't take it too seriously, especially if it's a side hustle for you and not a full-time thing. Make sure you're enjoying the process and having a good time doing it. eBay selling can become very stale and disheartening very quickly. So you have to make sure that you stay in a positive mental space. Make sure to take breaks and make sure to celebrate your small victories. So when an item sells and you make a profit, make sure to log that in your mind and celebrate it as a victory. And then also try to keep a good record of what is working and what isn't working for you. That's a big help as well. And on that note, I think that this is probably a good place to end this video. Again, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel and you would like to, just hit that little subscribe button. We would love to have you as part of the community. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I'm Ryan Roots, and I will see you guys on the next video. Peace out, everyone. Bye.